This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening. This is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the Bigger Picture webinar for the evening of Wednesday, the 11th of September. Our disclaimer. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right. Okay, it was an interesting day today. In the morning, I was saying that I was expecting to see a fail. We had a nice looking double top, and that broke down. And the double top almost made target, but not quite. We didn't quite make a lower low, although we came very, very close to it on SPX, less close on ES. And then it reversed, and it went high, and it went well over the weekly pivot and the monthly pivot. This is putting us up at the next resistance level at the daily middle band, and I think there's a pretty good chance it's going to break higher than that. We will see. But let's have we'll have a look in more detail on that on the RTH charts. NQ. We were up at the weekly pivot and we saw a bit of a decline, didn't come close to a retest of the low, and again powered up through the monthly pivot. RTY. RTY and Dow have been the weakest off the lows, and I've got a theory about this, which I will be sharing. But we've got a head and shoulders here. It's not any imminent threat of failing, and I'm not sure it is going to fail. But for the time being, we're heading back up towards the weekly pivot, and that may well be resistance when we get there. But I've got a theory about what's happening here that I'll be sharing. But a bit more of a move up on Dow. This actually had come down the least, but it actually made a lower low this morning and pretty much made this this head and shoulder target. So, and then nice bounce from there. We've got a potential double bottom here, and I'm thinking that might well deliver. But we'll talk about that on the RTH charts. On DAX, nice looking double bottom here, made a lower low. We had a small double bottom that's pretty much made target, and we've got a larger double bottom up here, and a sustained break over the weekly pivot would look for not quite a retest of the high, but something in about the 850 to 900 area. On ESTX, again, nice looking, decent looking double bottom, not quite a lower low here. This could still be a flag, but I'm inclined to treat this as a double bottom that is breaking up. It's testing the weekly pivot, and monthly pivot needs to convert those, and some more work needs to be done to the upside to convert what happened today. But today was very bullish, and I'll go through that. I'll have a look at that on the RTH charts. Now, one thing I was saying last week, at the weekend, was that I'd been expecting to see, well, I was saying a few things, one of which was that we just hit major support of the weekly middle band. And I was saying also that because the daily bands were still moving up and compressing, it was going to be hard to see a lot more downside this week. We've not seen any downside this week, which and we've seen more upside than I was expecting, which means that, of course, we're now up. We've gone through the weekly pivot, the monthly pivot, and we're now up at the next level of resistance, which is the daily middle band. Now, we still need to break and convert that and convert the upside. But the other thing I was saying last weekend was I'd been expecting this flag to play out to the target, which was the retest of the all-time high. So the topping setup didn't look complete because we hadn't made that retest. I'm thinking we may be coming back to make that retest and set up the full double top here, in which case we may well just be making this second high of a double top before we see a larger decline. So I'm very much wondering about that. No divergence here. We didn't quite retest the low, and we wouldn't have got divergence anyway, because of course it wouldn't have shown up on the daily candle after the big rally that came. But we're no longer looking at a potential. I was thinking if we went down, retested the low, and stayed there, then we'd have a nice looking possible RSI 5 buy signal. We're not going to get that. So don't get that on ES either. Again, testing the daily middle band. 45 DMA is not particularly relevant. Hourly chart, no current divergence. But here you can see that we've made a big move up, and I'm reading this as a double bottom. You can see that the low on SPX was 54.02, and we got down to 54.07. That was pretty close, and this could have been a flag, but I don't think it is. I think if this was a double bottom, it would have got 2/3 of the way to that target. Well, 60% of the way to that target today. And I think it's probably going to make it the rest of the way. And if it does, then there's a pretty good chance we're going to retest this high here at 56, 51, 62, and I'd be leaning strongly towards it retesting the target it didn't make last time, which is this all-time high at 56, 69, 67. We will see how that goes. In the short term, we've got a bit of negative divergence, not that surprising after a very hard day up. That's on the 15-minute. We've got a lot of negative divergence on the 5-minute too. In fact, that was basically building all afternoon. I'd expect to see a bit of a pullback tomorrow morning, in all probability. And after that, I'll be looking higher. I think this has a pretty good shot of delivering that all-time high retest of SPX that we didn't get last time. Now, NDX actually has been quite interesting here because NDX has got a bit of its mojo back, and it's got, again, it's coming back and it's testing the daily middle band as resistance. It's back over the monthly pivot and so on, but this is Dow has been lagging, and RTY has really been lagging. But actually, NDX on this rally now, it's actually looking pretty solid. It's come back almost as much as SPX has. Am I looking for a retest of the all-time high? Only if it really picked up pace. But I am thinking we may well see a retest of this high here at 19,938. Looking at the hourly chart, no current divergence. Do we have a bottoming pattern here I'm watching? Not really. But we do have this declining resistance. This could be an overall bull flag setting up a retest of this high here at 19,938.89. And we have broken over that declining resistance today. Looking at the 5-minute chart, quite a lot of negative divergence on the 5-minute. Is there an obvious reversal pattern here? There is not. There's really nothing. This could be a bear flag that's broken up, but to be honest, there's not really an awful lot to suggest that either. So at the moment, I've just not marked one on here at all. All right, looking at Dow. Dow is coming back into, hang on, wait a second, right, daily middle band is at 48.83, and basically we stopped today at it. Now that was actually weaker from here because we made a lower low. We've beaten last week's low already. I mean, it started off initially the decline. It was holding up relatively well, but we made a lower low. We've got a potential double bottom here. I've marked on the YM chart, and I think we might be about to break up over it and come back and retest this high. How would that fit on the bigger picture? Well, this head and shoulders would need to fail. And I think if we are going to see any more upside on SPX, then it's likely to fail. That would set up with a retest, a high retest target at 41.6. But if you look at what we'd be forming here, we've got the overall possible double top here, and what we'd be doing is we'd come back halfway, pretty much, come back, retest that high, and you've got a nested double top there. It would be very nice. We would potentially, if we go back and we make retest the all-time highs on SPX and Dow, we get a far higher quality decline setup than we would have had, and we give a bit more time for the Bollinger Bands to look a little more decline friendly than they were looking at the beginning of this week. So that's what I'm thinking may well be happening here. Let's have a look at IWM. IWM, frankly, barely made it off the mat. We've got a 6-minute buy signal here, which is mainly because it's actually had a chance to do that because it's the weakest. We got a weak RSI 5 buy signal fixed. We're still on an RSI 14 sell signal. This has been very, very slow to get off the bottom, and has really barely managed anything so far. But I am thinking we'll get some more if we see a move up. I'll be watching the possible IHS neckline in about the 210.2 area, and we'll see how it goes. But I think I'm thinking this head and shoulders may not fail, and that as and when SPX and Dow retest the highs, we might then see this play out. Because we would then have a far better topping setup. Looking at DAX, DAX barely made it off the lows, not back at the daily middle band here, and again we've got a lovely double top set up there. On Nikkei, well, I think we'll have to see how that responds tonight. But again, not really impressing anyone particularly. It's and nowhere near the daily middle band yet, although that may well not be the case tomorrow. All right, let's have a look at the dollar. Okay, DX. I was talking about possibly making a higher high as part of this. We've only made a very marginal higher high so far. I was thinking a bit higher than this, and possibly a test of this declining resistance currently in about the 102.35 area. We will see how that goes. But at the moment, I was talking about this at the start of the week, and the possibility we would make a higher high while we were setting up what was likely to be overall a bear flag, and we're on the way there. We've made a marginal higher high. I would be expecting generally to see more. ZB, we've got a nice looking double top here. We've gone back, we've retested this high, we've got a nice looking little wedge. I think it's probably going to about to break down. We've already got some signals and divergence on TNX. We've got nothing on the hourly here. This is a nice looking double top, and I think we might be about to start a significant decline. Looking at those on the bigger picture charts, bear with me a second. All right, US dollar. US dollar, when we came down and made this very nice support trend line, I was talking about the possibility we would get back to this resistance trend line. I'm thinking we may well be doing that. You'll notice on the daily chart that we failed at the daily middle band initially, and we've come back and we have now converted the daily middle band to support. I'm thinking this is opening up a potential move up into the 102.5 area, and we will see whether we get that. Looking at DX, looks pretty much the same. We're on an RSI 14 buy signal. The RSI 5 buy signal we're on hasn't made the possible near miss target yet. All we're waiting for, we didn't get, I don't think today's action is actually registered on here yet. Yeah, it's an EOD chart, and it's a bit slow to update at the end of the day. But I'm leaning towards seeing the higher high here, and then seeing if we can make this trend line on the upside. Looking at TNX, we've got on the hourly chart, we've got an RSI 14 buy signal fixed, and we've got an RSI 5 buy signal fixed. On the daily chart, we've got a possible RSI 14 buy signal brewing. This is a nice setup for a reversal and a decent rally in bond yields and a decline in ZB. So we shall see how that goes. All right, moving on to oil.
This conference will now be recorded.
Right, so on oil, we've got a bit lower. We've got almost down to the 65 area. I have mentioned that when we broke down, when we were at about 71, I said the obvious target was a test of the low last year in the 63.57 area, I think. Obviously, we're most of the way there now. I'm not really seeing any reason to think that we won't make it the rest of the way. So that is my target. We shall see. NG, I was saying that we've got a triangle there too, but that hasn't broken down and it's at an earlier stage. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this head off in the other direction, and it's been heading off in the other direction. It hasn't made a higher high here, and I'll talk about it when we're looking at the RTH charts, where we might go if that triangle continues to form. But I wouldn't be that surprised to see this head up into about the 280, 290 area, and I think that might actually still be forming a bearish triangle if we do that. We will see how that goes. All right, let's have a look at those on the bigger picture charts. On CL, that is a little RSI 5 buy signal, which is fixed. I haven't marked it on the chart yet, but that is worth noting. Having said that, I'm still expecting to see, this looks like a bear triangle. It is broken down. It's got a target at 63.57. And I'm expecting to see it make it. We have definitely got a daily RSI 5 buy signal brewing here. We could go a bit lower and make that target now, or we could rally and make it after. So I'm taking the signal seriously, but I'm also taking this target seriously. And we haven't gotten close enough to satisfy that. We've still got another 160 to go. We've got most of the way. We broke down at 72, and I said we were likely to make it, and look how far we've come. Likely, we're going to go the rest of the way. But we could see a decent rally first. Looking at NG, the current divergence on the RSI 5, we've got an RSI 14 buy signal fixed. The triangle here is at a much earlier stage. So we had a mature triangle that broke down. If this is a bearish triangle forming, and I'm thinking it may well be, setting up ultimately a retest of this low here at 1.522, then I'd be looking for some more upside first. The next obvious target would obviously be this trendline resistance in about the 2.9 area. I'm wondering if we might reach that. We're doing a little damage on the we're doing a little damage on the daily chart. Sorry, for some reason I don't have the Bollinger Bands. Oh, yes, we do. 2.18. So we're over the middle Bollinger Band. We've also, we're at 2.27 now, so we're slightly over the 200 DMA, and we're over the 50 DMA. So at the moment, we are breaking all of the short-term resistance levels that on the daily chart, and it's opening up potentially that move up into the 2.9 area. At that stage, I'd be looking for, if it continued to form, a move back down to the trend line, bounce, and then break. We will see how that goes. All right, great. Let's have a look at gold. Gold, this is a nice looking flag, and we've got up to flag resistance, and it has come down. We could head back to flag support. But I'm a little doubtful about that. But of course, while dollar is going up, and there's still a chance that dollar will rally significantly further from here, then it's going to be hard to get much traction on the upside on metals. SI has come down a bit too. We've got a beautiful level bottom here. HG, this looks like a bear flag for me. And I'm wondering about a retest of this low. So we shall see. All right, let's have a look at those on the bigger picture charts. GC, no current divergence, obviously pretty close to the retest of the all-time highs, and I've got a flag on the hourly chart suggesting we're going to make that. We are holding the daily middle band of support, and that is bullish. I was thinking it might open up further downside if we lost it, but we haven't lost it. So that's holding up. I think this is just basically marking time until the dollar finishes what it's doing. We've got on silver, we've actually got an RSI 5 buy signal fixed here. It's only a weak one, but that's worth noting. We've got a potential level bottom here too. I'm leaning towards the upside, but again, we probably need to wait for the US dollar to finish this rally and go. Now, it could finish that at any time, but there is a lean towards it probably going a bit higher. On palladium, nice move up. We've got declining resistance up here at about the 1028 area. I'm thinking that might break. On platinum, we're coming up to declining resistance as well. I've got that in about the 966 area. If, as and when the dollar turns, this isn't unpromising for this turning round. We've got a potential level bottom here on platinum particularly, and with resistance at 987. And if we were to see a sustained break above that, then we'd be looking at a target in about the 1050 area. Do we have an equivalent for that on palladium? No, we don't. Not really. So I'd be slightly more cagey about palladium here, but platinum, that's really not a bad looking double bottom setup. We'll see how it goes. Looking at HG, no current divergence on RSI 5, but a weak RSI 14 buy signal is fixed. I think we are consolidating and waiting for the dollar to turn back down again. Obviously, you can see that we've been holding the daily middle band pretty tightly as resistance. As and when we see it break up, that will be pretty bullish. Looking at GDX, RSI 14 sell signal fixed and hasn't made target yet, and we've now got an RSI 5 buy signal which is fixed. Leaning towards the upside. Actually, no, do we have a buy signal? Yes, we do have a buy signal, definitely. So that, I have to say, is leaning towards the bull side, and we've got the same buy signal which is fixed on GDXJ, and that is also leaning towards the bull side. So we shall see. All right, great. Let's move on to the other commodities. And on KC, we've been consolidating a bit after breaking up from the bull flag. I'm expecting this to deliver a retest of the high here in about the 259 area. On sugar, I drew in a theoretical bull flag channel support, and it came down and hit it exactly. This is a perfect bull flag channel. Looks like bottoming action here. I'm thinking we're going to head back to the resistance, which I've got in about the 19.35 area, and then on a breakup, we'd be looking for a retest of this high here at 20. That actually would still mean that we had a, hang on, wait a second. What's that? Right, hang on. Sorry, I'm just going to redraw this slightly. Where is that target? Sorry, I actually made a mistake when I was drawing this the first time. I'm just extracting the correct target from this. All right, on a breakup, we would still have a target in about the 20.2 area. All right, CC. CC has broken up, and I think it's probably returning to retest this high here at 8250 area. ZW, this is a potential in already formed inverted head and shoulders. It didn't quite make the ideal right shoulder low in the monthly pivot area, but it's still an obvious candidate for a right shoulder. And I'm thinking we might actually break up. If we do break up, then the IHS target would be in about the 645 area. So we will see how that goes. On corn, we don't have an IHS forming, and we've actually got a little double top that's broken down, but I think that might be failing. And we might be heading up towards what is a possible IHS neckline area, which is in about the 420 area. Looking at soy, we've got a double top which is broken down here too. I'm also wondering if that might fail. On cotton, we're a nice break up back over the weekly pivot and the monthly pivot. Possible 60-minute sell signal brewing. Could see a retracement here, but if it can hold the monthly pivot basically as support, then we can go straight up from here. On lumber, we're at an inflection point here on lumber. This could be a nice looking double bottom setting up a retest this high, or this is a much larger head and shoulders setting up basically a retest this low here at 473. It's a bit oversized for a head and shoulders, but it's a nice looking pattern, and I think there's basically a decision to be made here. Break and convert the 500 area to resistance, and it's likely heading down. Okay, let's have a look at live cattle. Nice looking double bottom here. I think this has a decent shot of playing out. No current positive divergence and not likely to get any on the hourly chart, but let's see how it goes to the upside. Break and convert the 180.5 area, and we'd be looking at a target in about the 187.5 area. Looking at lean hogs, this looks like a bull flag forming, probably because it is. So I think this is just a bit of a retracement after a nice move up. Watching as and when this breaks up, I'd be looking for a retest of this high here in the 83.35 area, and then probably higher. All right, let's have a look at those on the bigger picture charts. On KC, no current divergence, leaning towards seeing a retest of the high. We have recovered back over the daily middle band and stayed there for 3 days. On sugar. Sugar, still trying to recover over the daily middle band, but having lost it yesterday and made it back today. But I'm quite liking the upside here on the hourly chart. On CC, no real signal on the daily chart at the moment. We've seen a bit of a pullback after this breakup over triangle resistance. I'm thinking this may well be heading back to 82.42 and might actually be looking at a possible retest of this high here in the 10.070 area. On wheat, RSI 14 buy signal is fixed, and if we break up from this IHS, that will be supporting it. If we break up from that IHS, then we could see a very nice move here, and that would have a target in about the 650 area, as I was saying on the alley. On corn, we're still on an RSI 14 buy signal fixed here. Obvious next target if this is a bull flag, which it might be. Having also just basically back tested the daily middle band. Obvious target would be the possible IHS neckline in the 423.6 area. Looking at soy, weak RSI 14 buy signal is fixed. Again, leaning towards the upside if this is a bull flag, and nothing really suggesting it isn't a bull flag. Next obvious IHS target, IHS neckline would be in the 104.2 area, and I've got another one in the 108.6 area. So we'll see. All right, cotton. We're still on an RSI 14 buy signal, so if we resume the upside and we're recapturing the daily middle band, then we can head straight up from here. We've already broken over this declining resistance. Do we have a reversal pattern here? Yeah, we do. It's a double bottom. We've already broken up over it, and this has got a target in about the 75 area, and we can head straight there. And I've got a potential IHS neckline at 75.84, so this could be a bounce start, a very decent move. We shall see. All right, great. In that case, I think that's everything. So that's a wrap. Should be an interesting rest of the week. But I think just recapping quickly on ES, I think today is looking pretty bullish. And I was saying last weekend that that the retest of the all-time high was unfinished business, and I think we might be about to go and fix that unfinished business. We will see how it goes. But I think that's the obvious interpretation of what we saw today. We've still got some resistance, need to get it back over the daily middle band and convert that to support, but actually we're not that far away from the all-time high retest. I'd quite like to see it. And that would be a better setup for a decline than the one we had last week. So we shall see. All right, great. In that case, I think that's a wrap. I'll get this posted ASAP, and I'll catch you guys later.